If you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off, okay?
I'd be terrible in every way. I'd be terrible in ways that contradicted the other ways I was terrible. Like, too nice or too nasty or too stupid. I see these things that are in the news all the time, like things that blow up, you know. Couldn't give a fuck. It makes me angry that people care about shit. Celebrity shit is the worst.
Ricky Gervais absolutely hates Hollywood hypocrisy. And when Ellen DeGeneres found herself at the center of one of the entertainment industry's biggest workplace controversies, he didn't suddenly change his opinion. He simply doubled down on what he'd been saying for years. For decades, Ellen built one of the most recognizable brands in television around two simple words: be kind.
All right, it's a really cool service where every few months you're surprised with a box full of fun products, and I'm excited to announce my own subscription box called Be Kind by Ellen.
Millions of viewers embraced that message. Celebrities lined up to appear on her show, and her reputation seemed almost untouchable. But then, everything changed. Former employees began describing a workplace that looked nothing like the cheerful atmosphere viewers saw on television. Old interviews resurfaced, comedians revisited jokes they had made years earlier, and fans started asking whether those jokes had been pointing to something real all along. Today we're separating the verified facts from the rumors, looking at what Ricky Gervais actually said, what was later reported by former employees, and why Ellen's carefully built public image changed so dramatically almost overnight.
She would laugh, because I was hoping she was going to say, Ed, you can't be yelling at crew this way. You can't be yelling at people this way. She laughed and she said, every production needs their dog.
Long before controversy surrounded her name, Ellen DeGeneres was one of the biggest success stories in Hollywood. Her career didn't begin with instant fame. Like many comedians, she spent years performing in small clubs, taking ordinary jobs to pay the bills, and slowly building a reputation for her relaxed, observational style of comedy.
A woman always talks for the baby, doesn't she? She's... Say, my name's Tammy. Say, I'm 4 weeks old. Say, I'm cranky because I didn't have a nap today. And Mommy dropped me.
Everything changed during the 1980s when she won Showtime's Funniest Person in America competition. That victory opened doors to late-night television appearances, and before long, she had become one of comedy's fastest rising stars. The biggest turning point arrived in the 1990s when ABC gave her a sitcom simply titled Ellen. The series was already successful, but television history was made in 1997 when both Ellen and her sitcom character publicly came out as gay.
Say the truth. I mean, be who I am. I'm 35 years old. I'm so afraid to tell people. I mean, Susan, I'm gay.
At the time, that decision carried enormous professional risk. Many advertisers pulled away, ratings eventually declined, and Ellen later spoke openly about how difficult those years became after the show ended.
Tough in the beginning. For 5 minutes, it was really celebrated, and then everyone changed their minds. But I really, for a few minutes there, it really seemed like it was going well, and I thought everyone in Hollywood that's closeted is going to come out after me. I pictured like a stampede of wild elephants, like every closeted actor and actress in Hollywood. But instead, they were like little meerkats coming out of their little meerkat closets, just, how's this going to go?
But instead of disappearing from Hollywood, she reinvented herself. In 2003, The Ellen DeGeneres Show premiered. No one could have predicted just how successful it would become. The daytime talk show quickly transformed into one of television's biggest hits. Audiences loved the giveaways, the dancing, the emotional surprises, and Ellen's casual conversations with celebrities. Soon, almost every major actor, musician, comedian, athlete, and public figure wanted a seat on Ellen's famous couch. Her closing message, "Be kind to one another," became more than just a catchphrase. It became her entire identity. For years, very few people publicly challenged that image. Ellen wasn't simply another television host. She was viewed as one of Hollywood's nicest people. But behind the scenes, according to reports that would later emerge, not everyone shared that opinion. And once those stories began surfacing, the public started looking at everything through an entirely different lens. The turning point arrived in 2020, That summer, BuzzFeed News published reports featuring accounts from former employees who described what they alleged was a difficult workplace environment behind the Ellen DeGeneres show. The allegations varied from person to person. Some former employees claimed they experienced intimidation or favoritism. Others described allegations of discrimination, communication problems, or inappropriate behavior within the production.
When Ellen says she's not aware of this environment, you don't think that rings true?
It's a lie. As a host, she's amazing as a host. But as a boss and someone who's behind the scenes running the show, she's a different person. She's not the person people see in front of the camera.
Do you think anything will change?
No, because she should have apologized 16 years ago. This environment, this toxic culture that she created in the office has been going on for 16 years.
Importantly, many of the most serious allegations involved senior producers rather than Ellen herself. Even so, viewers immediately began asking one question: how could problems like this exist for years without the host knowing about them? As public attention intensified, Warner Media launched an internal investigation into the show's workplace culture. The investigation led to significant changes behind the scenes. Several executive producers left the show following the investigation. Soon afterward, Ellen addressed the controversy directly during the season premiere. She acknowledged that problems had existed within the workplace and apologized to employees, telling viewers that, as the face of the show, she accepted responsibility for what happened under her leadership. That apology divided audiences.
This summer, there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show. And then there was an investigation. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. The truth is, I am that person that you see on TV. I am also a lot of other things. Sometimes I get sad, I get mad, I get anxious, I get frustrated, I get impatient, and I am working on all of that. I am a work in progress, and if I've ever let someone down, if I've ever hurt their feelings, I am so sorry for that.
Some believed she was taking accountability. Others argued it came only after months of negative publicity. Regardless of where people stood, one thing was undeniable. The carefully protected image of daytime television's nicest host had suffered a serious blow. And almost immediately, people started revisiting comments that comedians had made years before the controversy ever reached the headlines. One comedian's name appeared again and again: Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais has spent decades building a career around one simple philosophy: no celebrity should be beyond criticism. Whether he's hosting award shows or performing stand-up, Ricky has repeatedly targeted powerful public figures whose public images don't match reality. So when Ellen's workplace controversy became front-page news, many people remembered that Ricky had never seemed entirely convinced by her carefully crafted image.
You know, everyone's different, so everyone finds some things. Listen, just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. Some people are offended by equality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just think, people say, oh, why'd you go to so much trouble to offend people? And I say, it's no trouble.
Rather than accusing Ellen of specific misconduct, Ricky often joked about celebrity branding itself. His comedy frequently questioned whether audiences sometimes confuse a public persona with a person's real personality. That skepticism wasn't unique to Ricky. Podcaster Joe Rogan and comedian Tom Segura also discussed how some celebrities appear to maintain highly polished public images that don't necessarily reflect private interactions. Those conversations later spread widely online after the workplace allegations surfaced. It's important to remember, though, that these discussions represented personal opinions and comedy commentary, not evidence of wrongdoing. Still, timing mattered. Once former employees began speaking publicly, jokes that audiences had once dismissed suddenly felt different. People began wondering whether comedians had been hearing stories inside the entertainment industry long before viewers did. Whether that's true or not remains impossible to verify. But the perception had already shifted, and soon, even more voices began adding their own experiences to the conversation. As media coverage continued, additional former staff members and writers publicly described what they said had been challenging experiences working on the show. Some recalled an atmosphere where employees felt intense pressure not to make mistakes. Others described concerns about being excluded from opportunities or feeling uncertain about where they stood within the organization. One former writer spoke publicly about seeing newer employees become overwhelmed by the pressure, while explaining that difficult bosses were not uncommon in television.
Phony, liar, hypocrite. That's my reaction. She's known about this for 17 years. She's created this culture. I was there from day one. We were all petrified of her. She was not nice.
Stories like these didn't prove that every employee had the same experience. Many staff members also shared positive memories of working on the program. But as more individual accounts accumulated, public curiosity only grew. Comedians also continued discussing Ellen's reputation within entertainment circles. Because comedians often spend years working together behind the scenes, audiences became increasingly interested in whether these performers had known something the public didn't. Again, speculation is not evidence, but when multiple independent accounts emerge over time, they naturally encourage people to look more closely at a public figure's career. Then viewers started revisiting some of Ellen's most famous celebrity interviews, and suddenly, moments that once seemed harmless were being interpreted in a completely different way. As Ellen's workplace controversy continued dominating headlines, something interesting started happening online. Viewers weren't just talking about the allegations anymore. They began revisiting years of old clips from the Ellen DeGeneres show. Interviews that had once been laughed off as awkward celebrity moments were suddenly being analyzed through an entirely different lens. One of the most talked about examples involved Taylor Swift. Back in 2013, Taylor appeared on Ellen's show for what was supposed to be another lighthearted interview. Instead, Ellen repeatedly joked about Taylor's dating life, showing photos of different celebrities and asking her to ring a bell whenever one of her rumored ex-boyfriends appeared on screen. At first, the audience laughed. That was the tone Ellen often used with her guests. But Taylor's reaction quickly became the focus. She visibly looked uncomfortable and repeatedly asked Ellen to stop. At one point, she jokingly protested that Ellen made her feel bad every time she came on the show because she knew the conversation would eventually turn toward her personal relationships. Years later, after the workplace controversy erupted, millions of people watched that interview again. This time, many viewers argued that Taylor's discomfort seemed far more genuine than they had originally realized.
We're here with your boyfriend, Zac Efron, last time. How's he doing?
We actually never dated.
Yes, you did. So how's he doing?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while because we didn't date.
Yes, you did. Why do you deny it?
Because we didn't.
Oh, okay. So let's just talk about the new CD then. Which song is about Zac on the new CD?
There's nothing really about Zac on the CD because we didn't date.
All right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Others defended Ellen, saying the exchange reflected the playful style of daytime television at the time, and that both women were participating in a comedy segment. Regardless of which side people took, the clip took on an entirely new meaning because audiences were no longer watching it through the same lens. Then there was Dakota Johnson. In what became one of the most viral daytime television moments in recent history, Ellen jokingly accused Dakota of not inviting her to a birthday party. Dakota didn't laugh along. Instead, she calmly corrected Ellen on live television. "Actually, no," Dakota replied.
How was the party? I wasn't invited.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited. Last time I was on the show, last year, you gave me a bunch of about not inviting you, but I didn't even know you wanted to be invited. I did invite you and you didn't come, so.
This time you invited me?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? I don't think so.
Ask everybody.
Why didn't I go?
I don't know.
That's not the truth. She went on to explain that Ellen had been invited but hadn't attended. The audience immediately reacted, and Ellen appeared momentarily caught off guard. At the time, the exchange was simply viewed as an amusing celebrity interaction. But after the allegations surrounding Ellen surfaced, the clip exploded across social media all over again. Many viewers interpreted Dakota's calm correction as an unusually rare moment where a celebrity publicly challenged Ellen instead of playing along. Another interview that resurfaced involved Mariah Carey. During a 2008 appearance, Ellen encouraged Mariah to drink champagne on air after rumors had begun circulating that the singer might be pregnant. Mariah declined and appeared uncomfortable as the conversation continued.
Let's toast to you not being pregnant. If you're not pregnant, then we should.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe her.
Not long afterward, Mariah publicly revealed that she had experienced a pregnancy loss. Years later, many people criticized the interview, arguing that no one should feel pressured to discuss such deeply personal matters before they are ready. Ellen later acknowledged that she wished she had handled the situation differently. These weren't the only interviews that people revisited. Dozens of clips featuring celebrities such as Justin Bieber, Celine Dion, Sofia Vergara, and others circulated online as viewers debated whether Ellen's interviewing style had always crossed the line between playful teasing and making guests uncomfortable. It's important to note that not everyone agreed with those criticisms. Many former guests have spoken positively about appearing on the show, and some defended Ellen throughout the controversy. But public perception had undeniably shifted. Moments that once generated laughter were now generating debate. And as viewers continued revisiting Ellen's past, another controversy emerged. This time during one of the most difficult periods in recent history, when the COVID-19 pandemic forced television productions across the country to shut down. Nearly every talk show faced the same challenge. How do you keep producing a daily program when no one can safely gather in a studio? Like many hosts, Ellen began broadcasting from home. On the surface, it seemed like a practical solution. But behind the scenes, reports soon surfaced that some members of her production staff were struggling to get clear information about their jobs and future employment. According to reporting at the time, some crew members said communication had been inconsistent as the production adapted to remote filming. There was also public discussion about the use of a separate technical crew for portions of the home-based production, which drew criticism from some observers. The situation added to concerns that had already begun surrounding the show's workplace culture. Then, another moment sparked widespread backlash. During one episode filmed from her California mansion, Ellen joked that staying at home during lockdown felt like being in jail.
This is like being in jail, is what it is. It's mostly because I've been wearing the same clothes for 10 days and everyone in here is gay. The jokes that I have.
The comment was intended as humor, but many viewers felt it missed the mark. Millions of people were facing layoffs, struggling to pay rent, worrying about their health, or grieving loved ones. Against that backdrop, hearing a wealthy celebrity compare quarantining in a luxurious home to incarceration struck many as insensitive. Social media reacted almost instantly. Critics argued the remark highlighted a disconnect between celebrities and the everyday experiences of ordinary families during the pandemic. Supporters countered that it was simply a poorly received joke rather than an indication of Ellen's character. Either way, the criticism continued to grow. By this point, every new headline seemed to reinforce the public's changing opinion. The Be Kind image that had taken years to build appeared increasingly difficult to repair. Even after Ellen apologized publicly and significant changes were made behind the scenes, the questions surrounding her reputation didn't simply disappear. Instead, they opened the door to something else entirely: rumors. Whenever a powerful celebrity experiences a dramatic public downfall, rumors tend to spread almost as quickly as verified information. Ellen's situation was no exception. As criticism intensified, social media became flooded with theories attempting to explain how someone with such a positive public image could face such serious workplace criticism. Some people argued that Hollywood had protected Ellen for years because of her enormous influence within the entertainment industry. Others suggested that powerful celebrities often benefit from loyal networks of executives, agents, and business partners who are reluctant to criticize someone capable of affecting careers. That broader idea that influential people can be insulated from criticism is something Ricky Gervais has explored repeatedly throughout his comedy. His routines often focus on celebrity culture, public image, and the tendency for fame to discourage honest criticism. At the same time, it's important to separate those broader observations from claims about specific individuals. Following the workplace controversy, numerous sensational stories circulated online linking Ellen to various criminal conspiracies or other high-profile scandals. Many of those claims were shared widely across social media, despite lacking reliable evidence. To date, many of the most dramatic accusations remain unverified or unsupported by publicly available evidence. What is well documented are the events that genuinely reshaped Ellen's public reputation. The reports from former employees, Warner Media's internal investigation, changes among the show's executive producers, Ellen's public apology, and the broader conversation about leadership and workplace culture. Those documented events were significant enough on their own to alter how many viewers saw one of television's biggest stars. And perhaps that's the larger point Ricky Gervais has often made throughout his career. He argues that carefully crafted celebrity images can be difficult to maintain once enough people begin sharing experiences that don't match the public narrative. Whether viewers agree with Ricky or not, his broader criticism of celebrity image-making has remained remarkably consistent over the years. And that's what many people believe his comments about Ellen were really highlighting. Ricky Gervais has never been known for protecting celebrity reputations. Throughout his career, he's built his comedy around challenging powerful public figures, questioning carefully managed public images, and reminding audiences that fame doesn't place anyone beyond criticism. When Ellen DeGeneres faced widespread scrutiny over allegations about her show's workplace culture, many people looked back at Ricky's earlier jokes and commentary with fresh attention. To some, it seemed as though he had been questioning the gap between image and reality long before the controversy became front-page news. But Ellen's reputation wasn't transformed by comedy alone. It changed because of documented workplace allegations, a major corporate investigation, leadership changes behind the scenes, public apologies, and an intense public conversation about accountability in the entertainment industry. At the same time, it's equally important to separate verified reporting from online speculation. While countless rumors emerged after Ellen's public image began to unravel, many of the most sensational claims have never been substantiated by credible evidence. Perhaps the bigger story isn't just about Ellen or Ricky. It's about how quickly public perception can change when new information comes to light, and how difficult it is for even the most recognizable celebrity brand to recover once trust begins to fade. So here's the question. Should Ellen DeGeneres ultimately be remembered for decades of groundbreaking television and cultural impact, for the workplace controversy that reshaped her legacy, or for both? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video to support the channel. Subscribe to Rap Hop Insider for the latest updates, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Until next time, peace out.